that's where the flow comes into play. That's where the creative expression comes into play. Like that's where like the truest you lives. It lives in not knowing what is going to come next. And like that's the beauty of what actually does come next, because it's organically being formed in that moment. And you can't really listen to what, the people that you're talking to, if you're thinking about what you're going to say next. And was listening to some audiobook by, I think, Carl Rogers, talking about active listening, and how like most people don't understand like the power of listening, and how actually it's not just for you, but it's for the other person. That like listening is healing, like listening is accepting, like listening is allowing that person to fully be who they are. Because we usually listen with judgment, we listen with an idea in mind, we listen with like all of these caveats to just purely listening.
Well said. Absolutely. And unfortunately, a lot of the times we have we have that expectation because of the idea of we're holding on to of ourselves, right? Like, give an example. Andrew has actually been watching me going back and forth with this gentleman on Instagram, but the idea that when it comes to, say, self-help, or when it comes to self-knowledge, or it comes to psychedelics, or God, or anything like that, that's all a path that one has to take within. That's all a path that one has to learn from reality itself. But often, especially when we're defining ourselves and when we're trying to fit into a capitalistic society, the only thing that we're really looking for is a label, so we can fit in and find out what our groove is and where we're going to make our income. And so, because I never say, what my educational background was, because I never promote any of the stuff that I've ever gone through in my life as being the reason I think the way I do, I always get questioned when it comes to that. And Andrew is facing that same thing here because of his age. And so we had this comment on Instagram from somebody who's like, oh, so you read a couple of books and you got a selfie stick, so you're a guru now. And what I thought was funny about that, because it was completely derisive from the start,